Hey everyone, and welcome to Learn AI with Brema. Today, we're going to dive into something that is totally changing the game: how to build your very own custom expert AI. If you've ever felt like that kind of power was just for the big guys, well, stick around. We're about to show you how everything has changed.
All right, let's get right into it. To really get why this stuff we're talking about today is such a huge deal, we first have to understand the old way of doing things, the big challenge that held back custom AI for years. I mean, just imagine it for a second. What if you could build an AI that's a true specialist in your field? An AI that actually understands legal contracts, or can analyze complex financial reports, or maybe even help with medical summaries. For the longest time, that was just a dream, and a really expensive one at that. This slide really tells the whole story, a tale of two worlds. Over on the left, in blue, you've got the old method, full fine-tuning. And yikes, you needed a whole rack of GPUs, it took days to train, and it cost thousands of dollars. It was just slow, expensive, and out of reach for most people. But now, look at the right side. There's a new way. It's called PEFT, and it's a completely different story.
This brand new, super efficient approach has completely blown the doors open on AI customization. So let's take a closer look at the solution that made all of this possible.
So what is this magic? It's called parameter efficient fine-tuning, or just PEFT for short. And it's the industry standard now for a very simple reason. It brilliantly solves that cost and time problem. Think about it like this. Instead of trying to teach a fluent speaker an entirely new language from the ground up, you're just teaching them some new, specialized vocabulary. It's just a way smarter approach to build on what's already there.
And the impact is just incredible. We're not talking about small, tiny improvements here. With PEFT, the cost can be 100 times cheaper, the training can be 30 times faster, and it uses 100 times less GPU memory. These aren't just numbers on a chart. This is a fundamental shift in who can access and build powerful AI. So how on earth does it work? Well, it's actually surprisingly simple. First, you take that massive, pre-trained base model and you freeze it. None of its original knowledge gets touched. Then you attach these really small new layers called adapters. And finally, this is the key, you only train those tiny adapters. The billions of original parameters are left completely alone. It's like adding a high-performance turbocharger to your car's engine instead of rebuilding the entire thing from scratch. You get a huge boost of performance for a tiny fraction of the work.
Okay, so PEFT is the big idea. But how does it work in practice? Let's dig into the two dominant techniques that are really making all this happen in the real world.
The two main players you're going to hear about are LoRA and QLoRA. LoRA, which stands for low-rank adaptation, is that core idea we just talked about. It adds those small adapter layers, and you end up training only about 0.1% of the model. Super efficient. But then, there's QLoRA, and it takes things one step further. First, it quantizes the base model, which is a fancy way of saying it compresses it, kind of like turning a massive photo file into a smaller JPEG. It makes the model much lighter. Then, it adds the LoRA adapters. And the result? Just look at the hardware requirements. You need even less video memory to get the job done.
And this right here, this is the takeaway that changes everything. Because of QLoRA, fine-tuning a really powerful 7 billion parameter model is no longer something only giant tech companies can do. You can do it on a single gaming GPU in your computer at home. You can even do it for free on a Google Colab notebook. This is what the democratization of advanced AI actually looks like.
Okay, so this is where the theory hits the road. This new accessibility isn't just a neat technical trick. It unlocks some incredible practical power. So let's look at what you can actually build with this skill. You can create a true specialist for any industry. You could train an AI on legal documents to help with case research, or create a medical model that actually understands clinical notes. How about a finance tool that does risk scoring? Or even a simple Q&A bot for HR that knows all your internal company policies inside and out. The possibilities here are so specific, so high value, and they apply to pretty much any business.
And it goes beyond just industries. You can master the specific AI tasks that are in huge demand everywhere. Need to automatically route support tickets? Fine-tune for classification. Need to summarize a 100-page report? Fine-tune for summarization. You can build enterprise co-pilots, support bots, or even an assistant with a specific personality. You want it polite, professional, or friendly. You're in complete control.
So we've seen the power, we've seen the potential. The logical next question has to be, okay, how can I get these skills myself?
And make no mistake, this is not just a cool hobby. As this quote says, fine-tuning is widely seen as one of the most valuable, most in-demand skills in AI engineering right now. Mastering this really does put you at the front of the pack.
A real path to mastery has a few key steps, and that's what we focus on at Learn AI with Brema. It starts with truly understanding the concepts, LoRA, QLoRA, all of it. Then you get hands-on, preparing data, training popular models like Llama 3. The goal is to build practical tools, use the software the pros use, like Hugging Face, and then learn how to test, debug, and actually deploy your models, all the way to building a complete enterprise-level pipeline from start to finish.
So here's the bottom line. The future of AI is custom, it's specialized, and it is more accessible than ever before. By understanding these techniques, you're not just learning a new skill. You're positioning yourself right at the leading edge of innovation. So, learn AI, understand the future, and stay ahead.